Hey, it's Hannah here, and today I'm talking about how to teach your horse to be relaxed if the saddle slips and how to stay calm in that situation. Now obviously we don't want the saddle to slip, but unfortunately accidents do happen, and if you do end up with the saddle slipping, we want to have make sure that you've done as many things as possible to help prevent your horse getting more anxious and instead support them to stay as calm as possible in that situation. So when I'm preparing any horse for being ridden, whether that's a young horse who's being prepared to be ridden for the first time or an older horse who's got some anxiety around being ridden or around tack, I'll go through this process with all of them just to make sure before anybody gets on that we're really happy with you know, things slipping and sliding over their back or moving. And this can be really beneficial for anything from if you're mounting the horse and you catch the hindquarters with your leg, or if you're leaning forwards to do your girth or your stirrups when you're riding. This is all preparation for them feeling things move around on their back and not being worried about it. So you can see in this first video that I'm working with Rowan. Now Rowan is a little rescue pony who came to me from Hope Pastures Rescue Centre with a huge amount of fear about anything, ropes, jumpers, saddles, anything at all, touching her back, being on her back and being around her hindquarters. So obviously this isn't the first video with Rowan, but you can see some of the exercises that I did with her to help get her really confident with saddle pads on her back, sliding around, moving around, dropping onto the floor. And this is the first stage of really helping your horse to be confident and relaxed if the saddle slips.
So you can do this with a number if you don't have a bareback pad, but lots of just putting it in different places. I like to hang on to it at the beginning just to make sure that if she does go, it's not going to stay stuck to her for a while. Lots of just pulling it off onto the ground. Up on her neck. And again, making sure she's all right round, because it was around her hindquarters and back legs she used to get really anxious. So doing a lot of this kind of stuff. And this is why it's really useful to have, as you can see, not bothered about this at all, so it's some really great progress there. It's really great to have something that you don't mind dropping on the floor, so don't use your best saddle for this. It's also quite heavy as well, just so that she gets really happy with things over and around her.
So you can see there that I was looking for Rowan just to be relaxed yet engaged and rewarding her for standing quietly, but also, you know, just kind of looking around and being part of what I was doing. You don't want your horse to be kind of just rigid and ignoring it or just holding it together. Just look for them to be soft and kind of relaxed and with you as you're doing it. So that means that you're going to just have to work at the right pace for your horse. So maybe you begin just with a t-shirt or a tea towel or something smaller that you can start just rubbing them with and gradually make it a bit longer and then leaning over their back. And certainly with Rowan I had to do an awful lot with her about her targeting things and reaching over her back, and these were all quite strong triggers for her. All of the training is shown in the Starting Your Horse Under Saddle course in the CT Club, and there's full sessions with Rowan because it was quite a long process for her to become truly relaxed and comfortable with a saddle and then a rider on her back. But this was really the first stage. From here I really build up, and I did this with Rowan too, to being able to make sure that I can at halt just slide the saddle under the tummy. So this is a real just a gradual progression from what you've just seen me doing, where we're sliding it around on the back a little bit, and then you work with a saddle pad and a surcingles, and that's just elasticated strap so that it's nothing big. Gradually progress up to the saddle, and I want to be able to make sure that you know, when I'm working on this at halt, no big deal. And so this next clip, you can see me showing this in a demonstration with India when she was a youngster. I think she was about 3 or 4 in this video, and how I just, from the very first time of introducing saddles, all of this was completely normal, so you can see how relaxed she is. They're okay with taking it right away underneath, so that if that ever does happen when we're riding, then India doesn't absolutely freak out and leave the country. And then while it's under there, we can do things that she enjoys doing, like targeting, so she's like, oh, I quite like it when it's under there. Forward. Just a bit of movement with that under her belly so that she starts to get the idea. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't teach your horse that it is just part of their training to have a saddle under their tummy as well as on their back. And I think that if every horse was taught this, that it would help to make them safer and more confident and relaxed if anything did change, because you're basically teaching them that things can move around and that's fine. And it teaches them to be more relaxed, more resilient, and if things go slightly in an unexpected way, that they'll be like, oh, is this just a different training game, rather than panicking about it. So with India, I wanted to take the saddle slipping a step further. So you can see that she's already confident with it slipping around her tummy, but I wanted to see if I could make saddle slipping a cue for her to stop. So that if I was riding and we did get into a situation where her saddle slipped, that hopefully that would also cue her to stop and to wait, which of course will keep her and I much safer than if she panicked if it had slipped in a moving situation.
So what I want to teach her basically now is that if it slips, that's a cue for her to stop. So what I'm going to do is ask her to walk on. Walk on. Good. You walk on. And ho. Good girl. So what I'm going to do is start to pull the numner and just give her my cue for stop, which is and ho. Good. Okay, can you walk on? Good. And ho. Good. And just reinforce her when she stops. So what I'd like to see is that at some point, as I start to pull this, she takes that as her cue to stop. Go out. Nice. I'm just sliding it first so she'll stop, but she's not. And ho. Good, so she's definitely still going from the voice cue. And what I'm starting to do is just transfer that cue, so as it's sliding, she'll hopefully start to stop. Good girl. You walk on. Get out. Good. Let's see, I slide it. Yes, this time she feels like she might. Good. Yay! Good girl! That was brilliant. Well done you. Well done you. That was super. Good girl. So that time I didn't give my ho cue, and she stopped as I started to slide it. That was awesome.
So once she had the basics, we just practiced a little bit, and this is from a few sessions later, and you can see that she's really understood the behaviour here.
So what we've been doing, girl, not that one, is just using a rope so I can get a bit of distance from it. Good. You walk on. Start her off following the target. Following the target. Good. And then take the target away, and then when she starts to feel that slipping, she needs to stop. Good girl. That was brilliant. The reason why I want to take the target away is because I don't want her to be conflicted between following the target and stopping when she feels the saddle pad slide. So I did try just, cueing her to go out on a circle, which does sometimes work. Let's see. Good girl. That's it. Stay out. Perfect. So I'm waiting for her to, good girl. Stay out. And then when she feels this slide, good girl. Really nice. Very clever.
And then the next stages were moving up to having a surcingle so that the pad stayed on her side when it slipped rather than onto the floor, which is much more how a saddle would feel if it was a saddle that slipped in movement, and of course moving up to trot as well.
Softly. Good. That was amazing. Well done you, Ind. Well done you. Let's take all this off. Absolutely brilliant. That was wonderful. There we go. Very much on its way, this one now. That was superb. You clever girl.
Now you can see that she really understood this and is really starting to get the idea. Now, one thing you might have noticed is that she had nothing on her head here, that I was just liberty lunging her. Now, if you've got a horse or you're at all concerned, it might be worth just keeping a little head collar on so that if they do get a little bit worried, you can just stop them and help them to calm down and it's not going to escalate. But I've known India a long time, we were working very progressively, and I felt very confident to do it at liberty. And you can really see that she's understood that when it slips, that's a cue to stop. Now, I did actually draw the line at training this ridden because I didn't particularly want to start throwing myself off and making the saddle slip ridden, but with a little bit of repetition to make sure this behaviour is really strong, I feel pretty confident that if we did get into a situation where I was riding where the saddle did start to slip, that this training would kick in on some level and help her to slow down, stay calmer and think through it and not go up into a panic. So those are the steps that I took, and I hope it's given you some ideas to help with making sure your horse is really confident if the saddle should slip, but also to really build that preparation in as well to make sure that they're really relaxed with whatever's going on their back, because of course we want them to be calm, relaxed and happy and able to focus on you without any anxiety at all. If you liked my slow and positive approach to teaching horses to be calm about saddles and saddle slipping, then do check out the Connection Training Club, which is an online membership site that you can access from anywhere in the world that gives you loads of information and support on positive horse training. So in the home study courses, we've got one on starting your horse under saddle, and that one takes you right through all of the preparation for tacking up, including saddling, beginning actually before the video you've just seen. So if you've got a horse who's really anxious even about the saddle being put on, moves away from the saddle, bites, kicks, that kind of thing. But then you can see all of the sessions with Rowan as well. So these full case study videos show full unabridged sessions with me training Rowan, and you can see all of the steps through, as well as of course all of the tutorial videos as well that show you what to do. We've also got a forum with some really lovely supportive members from all over the world, and you get extra videos. You can join Rachel and I in live Q&As, get the chance to get your video reviewed. We've just got loads of different bits and pieces going on. You can also find out more in the Connection Training book, so just go head over to Amazon and search for Connection Training in books, and that has information on our approach too, including de-spooking, starting your horse under saddle, ridden exercises, and our basic philosophy and principles. You can also head over to connectiontraining.com to find out more. So there you'll find out all about myself and Rachel, our approach, and here you can find out all about the CT Club and join there too, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for watching.